also. Is it clear to everyone? And because it's in the real time, it will be easier to understand the concept also. So you are understanding what is a buyback and also which kind of company goes for a buyback. Questions, doubts, thoughts?
Yeah, it's clear. You can, yeah, if you come with more information, yeah, you can do so.
So yeah, so they have said they will buy at 3000 exact price, not more, not less. So 5.33 crores, but never buyback is not like this. Is it an open buyback? What are they doing? Yeah, so it is up to this much. So it is up to means they will not buy more than 5 crore 33 lakh 33,333 shares. Okay, so
So there is some formula involved. So that's why they have this kind number. They are getting this number. So
no, so they have just divided 16,000 crores by 3,000. Simple.
okay.
So they will not buy more than this. So which means they are saying that they will start buying. So if they buy at 2,800, they will be able to buy more than this, right? So what they are assuming is the moment they start buying, the prices will start going up. So from 2,800, it may go to 2,900, etc. And this 16,000 crores is equivalent to so many shares, 5 crore 33 lakh 33,333. Any taxes and other brokerage they will pay extra. So say you can assume that brokerage will be 1%. So 160 crore as brokerage, not 1%, that's too much. Maybe 0.1%, 16 crores as brokerage, and taxes maybe 10% or something, 10 or 20%. So another 3,000 crores in taxes and another 60 or 80 crores in brokerage. So that will be extra that company will pay. No. Okay, no, they are not doing open market. Sorry. They are going to tender it. Okay. So they will basically ask people to tender the shares. It's not an open offer. Means they are not buying from the market. So whoever applies, they will get. Okay, this is good. So here there are 9 shareholders from promoter who hold 100,000, almost 270 crore shares of TCS. So yes, so like you were asking Venkat, this is a tender offer. This is not a buyback, open buyback. So when you say tender offer, which means whoever submits, so it will be proportionate. So if I hold 100 shares, I can tender up to this much, 1 point whatever, 1.42. So for every 100, every 1000 shares I hold, 14 shares I can give to TCS, something like that. So in this 270 crores, this promoter company, 1.42%. So roughly around 2.7 crores, around 4 crores can come from here, from the promoter companies. I just applied the same formula, 270 crore into 1.42. Clear?
Okay. But at the 1.42, I have some doubt. Is it, it seems they are saying 1.42 is the equity or some.
No, 1.42. So basically the total number of shares that TCS has, 1.42 is equivalent to 5 crore 33 lakh. So from here you can derive 100%. 1.42 is equal to 5 crore 33. So if you want 100%, you can do 5 crore 33 lakh 33,333 divide by 1.42 into 100. So that is the total number of shares that TCS has in the market.
Okay.
So that is why they are saying proportionately. So whoever holds how much, that much percentage they can tender. So it's a tender offer. It's not a open market purchase. So I got that one wrong. So here they are mentioned, no, clearly it's a tender offer. And because it's a tender offer, they are able to fix the price. In an open market purchase, the price cannot be fixed. In an open market purchase, they will keep buying at the market rate. But obviously, when the company is buying back the shares, the price will keep going up.
Okay.
That's a different,
Right.
but this is a tender offer. So it is also a form of buyback, but it is like one time. So it is like at a fixed price. So see, they have
The
done this in
shareholder, sorry, so if whoever is a shareholder who wants to sell their shares, they can apply for the tender and they can sell it at 3,000. Is it?
Yes, but proportionately, you cannot. So if you hold 100 shares, you cannot say buy back all my 100 shares at 3,000. Only 1.42.
No,
Only
or
if
maybe 10.
others
Uh,
don't tender, then you will be able to. You see my point, Vaibhav? So if you hold 1,000 shares and I also hold 1,000 shares, you can give 14 shares back to TCS at 3,000. I can also give 14 shares back to TCS at 3,000. But if I feel that after maybe 1 or 2 weeks, it will be more than 3,000 and I don't want to participate in this tender offer, because tender offer is a one type of corporate action. And there are not, all the corporate actions are not mandatory. Have we done a session on corporate actions?
no, I think we were planning here, Nishant.
Okay, so
I think-
tomorrow we will do one session on corporate actions. That is a good thing to know. So, but basically in summary, what happens is there are three types of corporate action. One is mandatory, where you don't have any choice, which means everyone has to do it. One is voluntary, which means you have a, you want, you participate, you don't want, you don't participate. So tender offer comes under that. You want, you participate, you don't want, you don't participate. Company cannot force you.
Okay.
Okay, and Ranjit, this should answer your question. So they do it almost every year. 2017 they did, 18 they did. In 2018 they did same 16,000 crores at 2100. So at that time they bought 7.61 crore shares. In 2017 also they did the same thing. So remember, a company which is listed continues to have two options. One is to reduce the number of shares. One is to increase the number of shares. To reduce the number of shares, what they do?
They sell it at a bottom.
Buyback,
They will sell
buyback,
it.
right? Reduce number of shares.
Correct. So they go for a buyback. Correct. Ranjit, you are saying something else.
No, in order to reduce, what they do, they buy back. Why they buy back?
If
Yes.
TCS is doing buyback, the number of shares in the market of TCS will reduce, right? It will not increase.
Okay. I meant I thought other way around. Okay.
So when a TCS is doing buyback, the number of shares in the market is reducing. So if TCS has currently, we just saw, right, 1.42 means into 70. So roughly today TCS in the market has around 450 crore shares. It's not a perfect number. I'm just calculated roughly. So out of 450 crore shares, they are reducing 5 crore shares by going for a buyback. So after the buyback, still 445 crore shares of TCS will be left in the market. In order to increase shares, what does a company do? Company like TCS, like which is listed and has been listed for quite some years.
Splitting.
Yes,
Share
splitting
split.
is one, but what else?
Bonus.
No.
Bonus is another one. Okay, what else? In splitting, number of share actually don't go up, right? Just the par value goes down.
They can dilute their stake counts. They can convert their shareholding.
No. So the main thing that I'm looking for is stock options, right? So a company can give stock options or stock options primarily.
So that time the company want more money, right? That's why they are going with an increase in shares, or right?
No. So company like TCS, correct. So that is one funda, but not always. So increasing in number of shares is multiple factors, right? Like, so when I'm giving stock options, I'm not looking for more money, but I'm just rewarding my key employees. So rather than giving cash, I'm giving them stock of the company and making them shareholders. So from employee, they are becoming shareholders. When I'm going for a bonus issue, again, it is a way to reward the shareholders. So what is bonus issue? That you have one share of TCS, I'm giving one share more to you at free of cost. And I'm converting some of the extra money that is lying in my balance sheet in the form of cash into my equity capital. So basically money.
I am thinking one more thing. Maybe you can finish the topic. Maybe it will divert the topic. Finish the topic.
Yes.
So basically, these are the things. So a company like TCS, again, there are different companies have different parameters, right? So let's focus on TCS, which is primarily IT service company and especially focused on TCS. They have multiple ways to reduce the number of shares and increase also. So reduce is mostly through a buyback, but buyback can be two ways, either a normal open market buyback or a tender offer. A tender offer is done at a fixed price. So in TCS case, they are doing a fixed price tender offer, which means at 3,000 only, not more, not less. Whereas there are some companies.
What if the price increases in the market?
Sorry?
What if the market price goes up and the buyback share price is lesser than here?
So people will not give, right? It is optional, right?
So then the buyback will not work, that means.
Exactly. But as of today, it is less, right? So when they came out with the offer, the TCS share price was 2,800. The dates are not yet announced, right? On which date it will start and all, because I don't see that. I don't see the
So,
dates there.
right. So who are ready to, okay, sell their share for 3,000 per share, then okay, they can get, or yeah, 2,990 or something, okay, whatever amount, but less than 3,000. So they will be able to, sell.
No, I didn't get your question.
No, no, here, that whoever wanted to sell their share for, 3,000 rupees, then they can tender, they can offer their, price to Tata Sons or the company,
Yeah, whoever is
right?
happy to sell at 3,000. It's like a
3,000,
fixed
exactly.
price, right? So
Yeah.
somebody might have bought it at 1,000 rupees, say 2 years ago. Somebody might have bought it at 2,200, maybe 6 months ago. But he is happy with 3,000 as a selling price, so he will tender. And it need not be that company will accept fully, because the company will only buy 5 crore 33 lakh. So actually, the way I explained, maybe I was wrong. I think in reality, what will happen is, say, uh, people will offer the company that, okay, I am ready to sell to you. So instead of 5 crore 33 lakh, the company may get a demand for 20 crore. So 20 crore shares people are offering to TCS that buy it back from me. So then if I have offered 100 shares, they will take 25 from me proportionately. You see my point? So like Sri Hari, opposite of what you said. So if the price goes more than 3,000, maybe nobody will want to sell to TCS. But if the price remains at 2,900 and the date of the offer is say 31st October, I'm just giving an example. So TCS may get more supply, means more than 5 crore 33 crore shares people are ready to sell back. Then TCS will decide that proportionately I will buy. So they cannot randomly decide that, okay, I will buy from Vaibhav, but I will not buy from Ranjit. It will be proportionate. So which means whoever has offered, say, so for example, I'm just saying hypothetically, the instead of 5 crore 33 lakh, they get it for 10 crore 66 lakhs. So basically, whoever wants to sell 10 shares to TCS, TCS will buy 10 and return the 5. Sorry, buy 5 and return the 5, because they can only buy 50%, because they got more. Again, it's same, supply demand will come into the picture.
But Nishant, here you're saying it's a tender. Tender means always no, they have option. Means whoever is giving a better price, lower price, then they will be able to buy, right? That's a tender generally.
No,
That's
no,
what I
no. This
understand.
is not, no. This is not that kind of tender, right? That is
Okay.
different. So in this, there is no price is fixed, right? Again, there is no choice. Price is fixed. So TCS has told, I am buying it at 3,000. Now, if Ranjit has 1,000 shares of TCS and Ranjit thinks that it's a good price, I can sell it at 3,000. And here the buyer is known. Ranjit knows that the buyer is TCS, but doesn't matter anyways. For Ranjit, the only thing that matters is price. He will get 3,000 per share. So Ranjit thinks that out of my 1,000 shares, 200 I will share at this price. So he will offer 200 shares to TCS. Now TCS has a limit of 5 crore 33 lakh. So if it gets less than that, it will buy back full 200 shares from Ranjit, which means for 200 shares into 3,000, 6 lakhs they will pay to Ranjit. But in case they get more, then obviously they cannot buy, right? Because their mandate is only to buy 5 crore 33 lakh shares. So then they will buy proportionately. So Ranjit said, boss, TCS, here you take, say, I am TCS, Ranjit is Ranjit. So Ranjit told me, Nishan, TCS, you take 200 shares from me, but I got demand for 3 times. So I will tell to Ranjit, no, sorry, I cannot take all 200 from you. I will keep 70, rest 130, you can keep it, take it back. So for the 70, I will pay you at 3,000 each. Clear?
Yeah, it's clear, very clear. Yeah.
Everyone clear?
Yeah.
Questions?
Maybe I am thinking
So
one
if
more.
I buy the share now, will I also be eligible to sell it at 3,000?
Yes, you should be, because that dates are not yet announced. So ideally, for every corporate action, we haven't discussed corporate action, but I think I did. But okay, so I will cover a basics of corporate actions also, like few of the things. So for every offer, there is certain dates. One is the record date. So based on that date, if you are the shareholder as on that date, then you will be eligible. So I don't think so they have allowed the record date as of now. So when they say the record date, from as on that day, if you are the shareholder, you will be eligible for the tender offer. So I'm sure you are eligible if you buy today.
And just want to understand, for example, if the share market price is going up, and still the company want to do a buyback, but is it not like I'm not yes over yes anyhow the share the price of the share will increase, that is anyhow there, but is it not like if suppose it is 3,200 now, and if they are still buying at 3,000 and no one is ready to take at 3,000, will it not be a scenario where the company will end up in not buying back the shares?
Correct. That is what will happen. The company will not buy back because the company has allocated, has clearly mentioned, right, that they will buy back at 3,000 only. So obviously people will, but they have kept it much higher than current price. Na? As of today, the price is already 2,800. So there might be people like you thinking exactly like you, Sri Hari, right? That let me buy at current price and I will still make 100, 150 bucks per share. So if I buy say 100 shares, I may make a cool 15,000. That's not bad, right? And generally after the announcement, it may take couple of weeks for that date to be announced, record date. So I would expect the record date to be end of this month or something, or first week of November. I don't know what the record date will be. It is not yet announced. So this you can easily get by checking on Google TCS buyback record date. But I don't think so they have announced it. Remember, for any corporate action, record date is very important. Record date means the date on which the company will check. Like for the dividend, they have said November 3 is record date. So basically, if you buy TCS shares now, you will also get the dividend of 12 rupees. If you hold it till November 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, actually, then coming back to the first initial question which I have asked. So when we say that we are going to take loan, the one of the criteria is yes, the interest rate should be low. That will be, and I think you also said the other points where they should have more profits and they should have, I think, some other parameters you mentioned. So
Correct.
having said this,
Yeah.
so then if suppose if the company goes with a loan option here and it wants to buy back the share by applying by taking a loan, so in this case I guess definitely the profit after tax will reduce, right? The component which we were discussing, the PE by ratio.
Correct. Your profit by tax will reduce, but your number of shares will also reduce, na? So the calculation that you will do is, if your profit by tax after tax is reducing only by 100 crores, but your number of shares is going down more, then your EPS will go up, right? The objective is to increase EPS, earning per share. Because the formula, what is the formula for earning per share? Earning per share is equal to profit after tax divided by number of outstanding shares. So when I take a loan for a buyback, definitely number of shares will reduce and profit after tax will also reduce. But what is the final number? So hypothetically, like I explained last time, say my profit after tax is 100 crores and number of shares is 100 crore. So what is my earning per share? 100 divided by 100, 1 rupee. Now I go for a buyback by taking a loan. By taking a loan, I was able to reduce the number of shares to 90 crore. But the interest component was only 2 crores. So what is my profit after tax? 98. What is my, or let it be 1 crore only. So 99. And my number of shares is 90. So 99 divided by 90 is 1.1. So my EPS increased, right? Only in this case will you take a loan for a buyback. Understood?
Yeah. Mostly, what I was thinking was, yeah, PAT will also reduce because the interest component, loan component will be as part of this, I guess.
Exactly, definitely. PAT will definitely reduce. And I will take a fixed rate loan so that I lock in this low interest rate for 10 to 15 years. So this needs to be done very smartly, but it can be done. That is what I was saying. Because in
got
the
it.
West and yeah, one of the other criteria is also that, see, right now India doesn't have so much low interest rate. Interest rates are low in Europe and US. So these companies generate revenue in that. So for example, TCS, what was the revenue? So guys, you are following, right? I'm getting into little deep concepts. So I hope all of you are following, right? Or I can go a little slower.
Yeah, maybe a little.
So if I look at the last quarter, right, the current quarter that ended, so July, August, September 2020, TCS revenue is roughly $5.5 billion. So annualized, if I do, roughly $22 billion. So let's say for argument's sake, we keep it as $20 billion for easy understanding. Out of this $20 billion, roughly 50% comes from the US market, which means every year TCS will be generating $10 billion in revenues in the US, and their generally profit is around 20%. So $2 billion, and here I'm talking about dollars, is their profit. So obviously, if they have to pay interest of $200 million, they have no currency risk, right? Because they are anyways generating revenue in dollars. You see my point? So this is why TCS is meeting all those criteria, and that is why TCS, according to me, should have gone. One, they could have gone for an open market buyback rather than doing this one fixed price at 3,000, but that is their strategy. And the second thing is they should have gone for at least 48,000 crores instead of 16,000 crores, and that extra money they could have borrowed in the US market because they have dollar revenues. So they could have borrowed, converted it into rupees, and then in future, whatever dollar revenue they keep getting, they could have repaid from that. And
But Nishant, technically, is it allowed legal? No, they're getting a loan in other country and moving the capital, no, the amount to other country. So
Yeah, it's
is it
allowed.
is it allowed?
means you are saying taking a loan in dollar and moving to India?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that is allowed for companies like TCS. There is something called FCCB, foreign currency convertible bond. But anyways, in
Oh,
TCS
okay.
case, they could issue local market bonds also, right? Because they are very, very big now, na? They are very popular. So yeah, there is allowed. It is allowed.
Okay.
But for
Okay.
companies that do not generate revenue in dollars, it's a currency risk is there. Because you borrow in dollar, convert to rupees, then you have to convert rupees back to dollar. For TCS, no such risk, right? Because they will keep generating dollar revenues, right? Because they bill the client in dollar only, right? Because majority of the billing for IT service companies happens in dollars. So that is why I have taken 50%. I am assuming US market might be higher than 50%. US means whole of North America, include Canada. But in Canada also, most of the billing is in dollars only, most of the times. Questions, doubts? Nimit, you want to add something?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay.
But there was a question from Vaibhav sometime back. I think he was asking about pledging.
Yeah, I'll get to that. But are we clear with this? So in this TCS case, right, even if they had done that 48,000 crore buyback and say borrowed maybe 5 billion US dollars at say 1% per year. So on 5 billion, 10% is what? 500 million. So 1% will be hardly $50 million in interest. That's nothing, right? At 50 million for a company that generates 1 billion in quarterly profit, 50 billion will reduce what? PAT by 5%. But if my number of shares will reduce by more than that, then actually my EPS will go up, right? The whole game is to increase the EPS. So we will have to do this calculation and see whether the EPS will go up. But I'm sure with 5 billion, the EPS would have gone up. So currently the EPS was 19.93 for the current quarter. So if by doing this jugglery, they could have increased the EPS to say 20.2 or 20.1 also, that is good enough. We can do a quick math and see, like $5 billion is roughly 35,000 crores, which would have allowed them to buy 3% of the shares. So I don't know whether it would have worked. I'm not sure. But yeah, that is one strategy, but yeah, not always needed also. But this is a good way to increase P ratio also. See, just by doing this buyback, right now TCS P ratio, what is the current P ratio of TCS? Let me check on screener.
It should be 32, I think.
So currently it is at 33.3. With this buyback, they will make it maybe 34. And if I look at the service companies, actually TCS crossed Accenture now in terms of market cap. TCS is more valuable than Accenture. Although TCS revenue is only $20 billion and Accenture revenue is roughly $45 billion, because TCS margins are so much higher. So that's a very interesting game. And this keeps happening. TCS and Accenture keep peeping each other in terms of market cap. Every few months, one goes up, then other goes up, like that. It's been like this for 3-4 years at least.
Be more Accenture, no?
I think Nishant, Accenture currently price is not so, it's not able to recover COVID levels. I think it will come back.
No, yeah, see, it is also a game of profit margin, right? Accenture profit margin is 11%, whereas TCS profit margin is 20%. That's a very big game changer. That is the key factor that people need to understand, that the profit margin of TCS is much higher than Accenture. And that is what market likes about TCS.
Sorry, this is also climbed the COVID levels. I see the Accenture price now. The one more reason would be you can I think we can't compare like that in my as per my view, because in India TCS is overvalued because people don't have any other choice. For
It
example,
is not like that, yeah. Again, when you say overvalued, what is the P ratio of TCS?
No, let me tell you, I think it's the same thing goes to when you don't have any good companies in the industry.
Correct, Ranjit. But again, that is fine. But you talk with facts, right? So what is current TCS P ratio is 33. What is Accenture P ratio?
No, I'm talking about market cap. If the overtake market cap, it doesn't mean that the market cap is a very intrinsic value for me. The value which given in the market in the Nifty or whatever.
Arey,
They
no, but market is not stupid, right? Market assigns a market cap based on certain parameters, and parameters are profitability and all, right? See, I am looking at Accenture P ratio. It is 29, so definitely it is not less, right? Remember, the rule of P ratio is profit should grow by 29%. Is Accenture profit growing by 29%? No. Accenture profit is only growing by maybe 10% or 11% per year. But market is still valuing it at 29p. Whereas TCS, again, profit is growing at 12-13%. But market is valuing it as 33p. Unfortunately, on TCS, on Accenture, I am not able to see certain other key parameters like ROE and all. TCS, I can see ROE is 37%. I am sure Accenture will be lower than that. ROC for TCS is 47%. Because screener will not show me Accenture. That is why in screener I can see the data. Okay, I will show you guys also. My what is the other key metric I was looking for? Yeah, net profit margin. Let's see if it is showing here. That I know because I study their financials. Net profit. It is showing only the net profit here. Okay. Let's see, net profit. Okay, we can do a more detailed sessions on it. Okay, some other day. But basically, I would like you guys to do some research and come back. So for TCS, the net profit margin is 20%, which means for 20 billion revenue, TCS generate 4 billion in profit. Okay, whereas for Accenture, for net profit margin is 10%, which means for same profit of 4 billion, Accenture has 40 billion in revenue. That is also a very, very important factor. Remember that. that net profit margin is a very big important factor of market cap. So if I see Accenture and TCS, profit is almost similar. Accenture might be slightly higher in terms of profit, but TCS is catching up fast. And if you see last 5 years data, you will see that Accenture TCS profit was gap was there. Means if Accenture profit was 4 billion, TCS was at 2.8 billion, something like that. And now TCS is at 4, Accenture is only at 4.5. So the gap has reduced. So now the gap is only 10%. Earlier the gap was almost 50%. So Accenture was so far ahead. So TCS is catching up. So that is also impacting. So that is why obviously TCS deserves slightly higher PE ratio. So,
So here, are you sharing some screen, Nishant? I'm not seeing anything.
no, I did not share the screen. I said you
Okay.
guys can do some homework. So if you guys can get some data in an Excel, TCS P ratio, the same one chart I had shared once, right? TCS versus Infi versus HCL. Similar to that on those metrics only, key metrics. What is the, so just put in one column TCS, another column Accenture, ROE, ROCE, net profit margin, revenue, P ratio. Okay. If we can get all those metrics, right, we can compare.
No, we don't have everything, but I think there is some sufficient information. ROE is not there, but I'm searching for the details. I think I will do a study on that.
Correct. So one of you just put it in an Excel and we can talk with, it will be easier to talk with data. But here also I can share this one. Vaibhav, I can get to your question now because we are almost on the top of the hour. So yeah, what was your question on pledging?
Yeah, like generally, I mean, what exactly happens in pledging of shares?
So pledging is nothing but taking a loan against the share, yeah. So it's like you can pledge your gold, whatever, right? Pledging, mortgaging. So basically, say you are a promoter and you own 1 crore shares of TCS, and currently market value of TCS is 2000 rupees. So basically, the total value of your shares is 2000 crores. Now you need money for whatever reason to either buy more shares of TCS or to spend on your daughter's wedding or whatever. Now, what are the options available? You either sell the shares, but obviously, the moment you sell the shares, you reduce your stakeholding, right? So, any future profits, dividends, all of that you forego. Or what you can do is, if you feel confident that today the share price is 2000, next year it will be 3000, which means you are expecting a 50% growth in share price. So you approach a bank and you say ki boss, I have this 1 crore shares which is worth 2000 rupees each. So total value is 2000 crores. I am going to give you this 1 crore shares. I am going to keep it with you. So, and against these shares I will take a loan. So it's like a secured loan. So the bank will say fine, I will give you, but because it is share price, I am not comfortable to give you full 2000 crores. I will give you maybe 50% of that amount. So they will say, okay, fine, I will give you 50% of the amount, which is 1000 crores. So okay, that is fine. Give me 1000 crores. Thanks, Nimit. Out of that 1000 crores, I will charge you say 10% interest. So that my interest outgo is 100 crores. Now, obviously, I am assuming that the share price will go up by 50%, which means that share price will be 3000. So roughly 1000 crores profit in a year. So I think that okay, the amount of profit that I will get from the shares profit in increase of share price is much higher than the interest I will pay. So as a promoter, I go for it. Bank is safe because they have given only 50% of the share value. And considering it's a very good blue chip stock, they know that 50% it will not fall. Obviously, some banks may give even less than that, but I'm just using a hypothetical example. So it is a win-win. The bank is able to give a loan against a security. Promoter is able to take the money. Now, what he does with 1000 crore, it's up to him. Whether he spends on a daughter wedding, goes for a world tour, or goes ahead and buys shares of some other company, or goes ahead and buys shares of his own company. But obviously, remember in this game, if the share price doesn't go up, he will end up paying the interest to the bank, and he has to pay the interest somehow. So that 100 crore he has to pay. So he might be assuming that he will get dividend only for that much amount. So from that he will pay. So that is what is pledging. But obviously when the share price starts falling, people get into trouble, like it happened with Future Group and all that. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. So that is why I keep saying, right, leverage is like a spring. It can work both ways.
So leveraging was basically like taking loans, and deleveraging is like removing debt. I mean, or is it more complicated? Like,
Correct, exactly same. So leveraging means you have your 100 rupees, but then you start multiplying that money. So like suppose in intraday trading, right? You put in your 100 rupees, but you can take position for 1000. Now, if you make profit of 1% in the intraday, the profit of 1% on intraday means profit of 10 rupees. So, but on your investment of 100, it becomes 10%. But similarly, if there is a 1% loss, you lost also 10%, right? So the amount of leverage you take, that is the amount your profit and loss gets multiplied by. So if your leverage is 10 times, your profit is also 10 times, your loss is also 10 times. If your leverage is 100 times, your profit and loss is multiplied by 100 times, which means a 1% profit is 100% profit, but 1% loss is 100% loss also, na? So when it works in your favor, looks great. When it doesn't work in your favor, looks very stupid.
so we can simply say that it is the risk, that whatever risk you are taking, it gets multiplied.
Yes, of course. But it is never advisable to take unlimited amount of risk. So yeah.
And
But
what
here, yeah, please go
Nishant,
ahead.
if the banks give the loan for amount based on the current market price, uh, I don't know how bank will be able to recover that money. I think if the stock is falling, for example, with Reliance, Anil Ambani's Reliance, the stock is nearly went to almost penny stock now. How they are able to recover, man? I think that is almost
Again, you are asking strange question, right? See, think they will. So in this example only, I have 1 crore share of TCS. I went to bank. Current price is 2000. Total
Mhm.
value is 2000 crore. Bank, if the bank is smart, they will give me only 50%. So they
Okay.
gave me how much? Only 1000 crores. The
Yeah, but
moment
this
share,
guy pledged only 50. I think, yes, I agree. But this guy is pledged. Let's say I pledge only the amount of share. Uh, Bank
Arre,
can't say. For
wait man,
hold.
wait, hold. The bank, I have given 1 crore share to bank, and the bank did the value of 1 crore share as 2000 crore. And they said, I will not give you 2000 crores. I'll give you only half. You want or not want? I said, yes, I want. So that is how the deal got done. So 1 crore share bank kept. I am bank. You are the person taking loan. Okay. I
Mhm.
kept your 1 crore shares. I gave you 1000 crores. Current value is 2000 crores. Share price after 1 month, the share price fell to 1800. I will tell you, Mr. Ranjit, share price is falling. Either you give me that difference 200 crores or I will sell your shares. You say I will not give. I will sell the shares, take my 1000 crores,
Okay.
take my interest, give back your rest of the shares. Goodbye, Tata.
If bank acted very quickly, then it's fine. Okay.
That is called invoking the pledge. Obviously, see, again, this is a risk game, right? Banks are also in this game, right? Banks are also taking some risk. Otherwise, why should bank make money, yaar, for doing nothing? Huh? So the risk for the bank is they need to have good system in place that the moment they see this risk getting highlighted, it should come up in their risk report and immediately they will take action. Simple, right? That is why they have taken security from you, na? But it is better than unsecured loan, right? I have taken some security from you. Same thing goes with loan against gold, right? But obviously gold and shares will not be so volatile. Companies like TCS will not fall just like that, na, 50%. So that is why we have categories, right? A category companies, which are the best of the best. What you call the blue chip, right? Nifty stocks or Sensex stocks. These are the best companies of India. Their share price is not expected to fall in 3 months 50% or go up 50%, right? It is supposed to be stable, 15-20% per year return average. Right. And also it depends what is the tenure of that loan, right? At the end of the day, when I'm pledging my share with the bank, there is a tenure of that loan, 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years, whatever. There will be all these agreements will be there. All the terms and conditions will be there. Obviously, sometimes it goes wrong, right? Bank is also not perfect, right? It is run by human beings. So sometimes they have losses. But as long as the bank is able to manage it well enough, that is good enough. Yeah, sorry, Venkat, you had a question.
I think you covered it. I want to know, but the similar way, using that share, whatever they have as a pledge from the customers. If share price goes down, then they can sell it and they can make money.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
why any security that the bank has,
yeah.
if you do not pay their whatever you due to them, right? So whatever is the interest rate agreed, if you don't pay the interest on time, they will take back your asset, right? So that is why it is called invoking the pledge. So there are
Okay.
strict terms and conditions in that. So there are certain thresholds. So this is just an example, but there will be a threshold ideally. So I have not seen one of those agreements, but there will be a threshold. Think logically. The threshold will be that say the total value of the collateral is at this moment 200% of the loan amount. The moment it falls below 150%, the bank will the borrower will have to return the principal to the bank within 30 days. If they don't do it, the bank has all the rights to sell the securities or the collateral. In this example, we call it collateral, and recover the principal plus the any outstanding interest due. Any surplus left after that will be returned to the borrower. Something like that. They will have their own safeguards in place. And but when this happens, when the banks invoke, so this is called invoking the pledge. When the bank invoke the pledge, basically bank will be selling extra shares in the market, right? That is when all this bad news leaks that promoter had pledged shares and they are not able to repay to the bank. So then kind of sometimes panic happens. Although it should not, because if the company is performing well, but yeah, panic happens because the share price is falling because company is not doing well. And then on top of that, they realize that the promoter had pledged the shares. So all this then becomes a problematic scenario. So same thing like I explained to WebHub, right? It's the leverage game, right? The guy who's borrowing is assuming share price will go up 50% because his company will do well. But if the company doesn't do well, it becomes a very bad scenario. Whereas if he hadn't pledged the shares, all this natak will not happen. At least some of the natak he can avoid. Still, the company has to perform well for the share price to go up. So it's all about, right, how you want to use the money. Because if you already have 1 crore shares of TCS, you are already very rich. And if you need, say, some expense you have, you need 20 crores, it's better to sell that much worth of shares rather than do all this natak of taking a loan and all that. But yes, people have different viewpoints, right? That is why markets exist. But good, I like the session today. I don't know what you guys feel. Good questions, and I think all the questions are getting answered also. So I think this is a good format for learning. At least I feel that way.
I have one just I want to get the information that to review all these results and this all the different datas. You were following some websites, right? What are the websites? Nishant or Ranjit? No, I never used it.
No,
You were
website
following.
for what?
So all these companies' datas and
So for Indian companies, the website is screener.in. It has good information. But
that's what.
generally, you
Okay.
should go to the company's website only. So like for TCS results, you would go to the TCS website.
Uh,
And these days, they also have it on YouTube, but I don't know whether they keep it for long. But when you go to the TCS website, right, whatever quarterly results they publish, right, they will have a something called an earnings transcript and all. Okay, where basically they will record whatever the management said and all that. So you can go through that. So that is a very good thing. So if you go to the TCS website now, I can share that link actually. I have it open here. They will have all this data. So they have some presentations and all that, and they have published it based on Indian accounting standard and IFRS, which is International Financial Reporting Standard. And then you have management commentary. So they have their webcast and press conference, everything. So you can go through that. That is very good. So
but okay,
webcast.
we can get the PDF report. Is it whatever?
Yeah, PDF is definitely there, but going through audio is also good sometimes.
Okay.
Thank you, Srihari. Any other questions you guys have? We only have a very small group, so we have Vaibhav, Venkat, and Ranjit. If you guys wanted to ask something else. I will stop the recording for now.